Welcome back to a special educational episode of Classic Gaming Quarterly TV. Today we'll take off across the country with $800 in our pocket, hunt for our own food, and try not to die of dysentery. We'll also traverse the globe hunting down and arresting international criminals, but we won't forget to stop at Interpol first to get a warrant. This is the Oregon Trail, and where in the world is Carmen Sandiego for the Apple II?
Nothing's more important than teaching children well. That's why more schools teach on Apple than any other computer.
So just look at them and decide, and know they love you.
The Apple II personal computer was released in 1977 and quickly made its way into American schools. I would try to finish my classwork as quickly as possible so that I could lobby my teacher to let me use the Apple IIe that we had in our classroom. While educational software was not as exciting as the latest hot titles at the arcade, it was certainly a lot more fun than doing schoolwork. My friends and I took turns playing games like Number Munchers, Spellicopter, Master Type, Word Munchers, and Odell Lake. But the cream of the edutainment crop came in the form of two games that ruled them all. Oregon Trail, published by the Minnesota Educational Computing Consortium, dates all the way back to 1971, when a student teacher named Don Rawich enlisted his two roommates to help him develop a game that would get his students more interested in American history. Originally designed to run on a mainframe computer and be accessed by teletype terminal, the game was eventually ported to the Apple II after Rawich became an employee of the MECC. The game was reprogrammed by a group of high school students to take advantage of the then ubiquitous color monitors that were paired with most Apple IIe systems, and the version of the game with which we are all familiar was born. In Oregon Trail, you take on the role of a pioneer who wants to pack up his whole family and travel by wagon from Independence, Missouri to the Willamette Valley in Oregon. You have the choice of being either a banker, carpenter, or farmer. The banker will start off with the most money, but the farmer will have the highest scoring bonus at the end of the game, so think of it as a difficulty setting. You also choose the month in which you leave, which has weather-based ramifications. Before you leave, you load up your wagon with supplies like clothing, food, ammunition, and wagon parts, and of course have to buy oxen. Along your journey, you make regular stops where you can rest, buy supplies, and trade with other people. At each one of these stops, you're greeted by a single screen depicting the area, along with a single-channel melody. This might seem like nothing special now, but at the time it looked and sounded pretty cool. You can also hunt for food in order to stretch out your food supply, but this of course slows you down. Many of the events in the game are controlled by a combination of user-controlled variables and chance. Try to travel too quickly and someone might get exhaustion. Try to eat too little and someone might famously die of dysentery. When it comes time to cross a river, you can sometimes pay to take a ferry or get an Indian to help you, but you usually have to either try to ford the river if it's shallow enough, or caulk your wagon to seal it and float across. In both cases, there's a high probability that something bad is going to happen. While most of the game plays like a text adventure with accompanying pictures, there are two areas of the game in which it plays more like a traditional video game. When hunting for food, you can move your character around and shoot at whatever animals randomly enter the screen. While this isn't the most fun thing in the world to do, it's not bad and helps break the game up. At the end of the game, the last thing you do is float your wagon down the Columbia River, if you don't have the money to take the toll road, and the game plays kinda like a primitive version of tubing. If you successfully make it through this section, you reach the end of the game. Your score is tallied up based on how well you did, and if you're lucky, you'll crack the top 10. Broderbund was founded in 1980 by brothers Doug and Gary Carlston. Initially created as a mechanism for marketing Doug's game Galactic Empire, the company quickly made a name for itself, releasing hit games like Choplifter, Lode Runner, Spelunker, and successful software titles like Bank Street Writer and Print Shop. In 1985, they scored one of their biggest hits when they released Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, an educational entertainment game that was based on, and included a copy of, the World Almanac. The game would give rise to a litany of sequels including Where in the USA is Carmen Sandiego, Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego, and perhaps most interestingly, Where in North Dakota is Carmen Sandiego. The game also spawned a successful public television series by the same name, starring recognizable American actress Lynn Thigpen, and a famous theme song performed by American singing group Rockapella.
Where in the world is
Carmen Sandiego?
Much like Oregon Trail, Where in the World in Carmen Sandiego is, at its core, a text adventure with accompanying pictures and sound. You play the role of an Interpol detective who is tasked with bringing down all the members of Carmen Sandiego's gang, ending with Carmen herself. You do this by traveling around the globe where at each stop you get just enough information to figure out what the fugitive's next step is, and usually one of several pieces of information needed to identify the criminal and get a warrant. If you happen to catch up to the thief before you get a warrant, he or she is set free, you get no credit for the case, and you start a new one. If, on the other hand, you followed proper procedure, the cops haul their ass to jail, and you get either a promotion or credit towards one. The game will automatically save your progress to disk between cases, and all you have to do to resume your game the next time is type in your name and it'll automatically load. As an adult, the game is fairly easy to get through just using your common knowledge of the world, but the game was of course meant to be played by children, and the intent was that they would use the included World Almanac to look up the needed information to make informed game decisions. That being said, I definitely found myself needing to turn to Wikipedia from time to time when the clues just seemed too cryptic. Maybe it's just the nostalgia talking, but even at my age I enjoy a good game of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. In fact, I just beat the game for the first time a couple weeks ago while preparing for this episode.